Leroy's Dream by Diarra McCormick. Fade in. Super over. New Orleans, LA. Exterior. Tremaine neighborhood, afternoon. Images of potholes, abandoned homes, and people in the neighborhood flash across a screen. We see Leroy Brown, late 40s, a disgruntled black waiter with a wrinkled brow and rugged face, traipsing down the block. Leroy wears a white cap that reads, Café du Monde. He yanks it off his head and tosses it to the ground. Leroy grabs a beer from his apron and opens it. He stands in the middle of the street and gulps it down. Leroy crushes the can with his hand and kicks it across the street. He removes the apron from his tiny waist, folds it neatly, and stuffs it into his black backpack. Exterior, duplex house, afternoon. Leroy adjusts his backpack as he walks up a small set of steps. Rap music blares up the street. He doesn't bother to investigate as he turns the knob.
Sup, Leroy? I've been looking for you, my man.
Leroy turns around and cracks a smile. He nods as Daryl, a light-skinned hip-hop lover in his 30s, jumps out of his black Range Rover. He gives Leroy some dap.
Man, what's good? The street's been talking.
Leroy's smile fades away.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bro, they said...
Look, I don't have time for hearsay.
But word is...
Ain't nobody kick shit over here.
Daryl nods.
I figured that, but I just wanted to make sure for myself, you know?
The men stare at each other.
So what do you want?
Say, bro, I'm just trying to support black businesses.
Leroy nods at him. Daryl follows him up the steps. Interior, duplex house, hallway, afternoon. Leroy locks the outer door to the duplex, then leads Daryl to another set of stairs. As they walk up the raggedy stairs, Daryl admires the backpack.
What's with the bag?
Leroy snaps.
What's with all the questions?
Say, bro, it's just a question. Say, bro, don't be shushing me. I'm a grown-ass man.
Leroy reaches the top of the stairs to apartment B. He glances at Daryl and places his finger on his lip. Daryl shakes his head. Leroy glues his ear to the door to eavesdrop. Silence. Leroy turns the knob slowly. It's unlocked. He frowns at Daryl. Daryl shrugs. Interior living room, afternoon. Leroy and Daryl glance around the room. It's a mess. Leroy sniffs the air and glances at Daryl. Daryl's eyes widen. He nods. Leroy picks up newspaper, clothes, and bills from the floor. He throws everything on the couch.
Excuse the house, man.
Say, bro, no need to apologize.
Leroy removes the backpack from his shoulders and places it nearby on the floor. He grabs a chair and gestures for Daryl to take a seat. Whirr! Leroy plugs in a fan and places it in front of Daryl. As Daryl takes a seat, Leroy opens a drawer and pulls out a set of clippers and other barber and stylist tools. He drapes a black cape over Daryl.
The usual?
You know it.
Both men crack a smile. Buzz. Leroy turns on the clippers and starts cutting Daryl's hair.
So my son started sitting up by himself yesterday.
As the naps fall to the ground, sweat drips from Leroy's brow.
He's a smart little dude.
Leroy continues to cut his hair with no response. The naps start blowing around the living room.
At first I was mad about the pregnancy, but now I'm happy to be a daddy.
Daryl humphs.
You there?
Leroy turns off the clippers and wipes his forehead.
Yeah, sorry, bro. That's good to hear.
Suddenly, a scrawny female toddler with afro puffs enters the room, donning only underwear and holding a painting. Leroy is enraged.
Hey! What are you doing with that?
The painting is a bunch of black barbers in a shop where one of the clients is President Barack Obama. The toddler slings the painting around like a rag doll. Daryl is excited. He points in the toddler's direction.
I remember that painting from the barbershop.
Leroy grabs the painting from the toddler and she whines.
Get out of here now.
Hey, man, she's just a baby.
I don't need a lecture.
Not giving you a lecture, man. You need to check yourself.
The toddler continues to squirm and whine on the floor.
So you're a doctor now?
Oh, man, your grumpy ass need to relax.
Leroy chuckles. He removes the cape from Daryl's neck.
You're done.
So it's like that, bro?
Sonya, 20s, a black female alcoholic with a matted afro, enters wearing only a t-shirt.
What's all this noise in here? I'm trying to sleep.
Leroy's eyes widen. Daryl covers his.
What the hell? Go put some clothes on.
Shut up, fool. Maybe I would if it wasn't so damn hot in here.
Go back in the room where you belong.
I ain't going no damn where.
Daryl digs in his pocket and slams $40 on the table.
Hey, man, keep the change. I'm out.
Daryl slams the door on his way out. Leroy charges toward Sonya.
I told you to keep this living room clean. You couldn't even do that.
I ain't your damn maid.
You need to get a job or something.
Well, you should have left me on the corner where you found me.
Leroy glares at her. Sonya stares back at him and exits the room. Leroy follows her. Interior bedroom, afternoon. Sonya lies in the bed like a queen. Leroy enters and kicks clothes out of his way.
You need to get it together.
Sonya smacks her teeth and rolls her eyes at him.
And I mean right now.
Excuse me? I am very well put together.
Leroy glances around the room. Empty beer cans, Little Debbie snack cake wrappings, and traces of marijuana blanket the nightstand. Leroy points his clippers at Sonya.
Clean this mess up. And clean yourself up while you're at it.
Hey, calm down. It's okay.
You think this is okay?
Leroy knocks the nightstand over with his free hand. The wrappings, beer cans, and marijuana debris crash to the floor.
Since you won't do it for me, at least do it for your daughter.
Don't you dare. I do everything for my daughter. Everything.
Suddenly, Tina enters with Daryl's hair in her mouth from the floor. Sonya gasps. Leroy glances at Tina and glares back at Sonya.
Well, you have a fucked up way of showing it.
Look, I'm trying. I just gotta...
Stop making excuses.
Sonya reaches for Tina.
Tina, baby, come here.
Tina spits the hair out. Sonya wipes Tina's face with her hands. Leroy frowns at Sonya.
When was the last time you fed her?
Doesn't matter.
And you call yourself a mother?
Look, I'm the best mother I know how to be.
You need to try a little harder.
What makes you so damn perfect?
Leroy throws the clippers across the room. Thump, it hits the wall. Sonya flinches. Tina reaches for Sonya. She wants to be held.
Oh, not now, honey.
Tina whines.
Answer me, asshole.
Leroy grabs Tina. He hoists her up on his hip and exits. Exterior bedroom, afternoon. Leroy slams the door shut. He grips the knob. Interior bedroom, afternoon. Sonya struggles to turn the knob, but it won't budge. Intercut between Leroy and Sonya.
Let me out, you coward! Let me out!
Tina bangs ferociously on the door. Leroy keeps a tight grip on the doorknob. Boom! Sonya charges at the door like a bull. Leroy adjusts Tina on his hip. Sonya tries to kick the door down.
I hate you!
Sonya sobs and backs away from the door.
I hate you!
Leroy pauses and listens to Sonya sobbing. Sonya crawls in the bed with the covers over her head. Leroy loosens his grip on the doorknob with caution. He listens for a moment. Silence. He hoists Tina up in the air with both arms. Tina giggles.
Come on, let's get you cleaned up.
Interior, Leroy's house, various rooms. Montage as Leroy wipes the rest of the hair from Tina's face with a dish towel. He finds Tina an outfit to wear around the house. Leroy tries to comb her hair. He gives her the best ponytail he can. Leroy cooks the child a bowl of macaroni. Interior, kitchen night, later. Tina sits on the floor with a cup of Kool-Aid. She pours it out on the floor. She giggles and plays in it.
Come on now, cut that out, girl.
Tina glances at him and continues to play in the Kool-Aid.
All right, you stop that right now.
She laughs. Leroy stares at the toddler having fun. He smiles at her.
What the hell, enjoy yourself.
Leroy walks to the cupboard, reaches for a bottle of whiskey. Leroy raises the bottle to his lips and he glances back at Tina. She stares at him and reaches her arms out.
Oh no, this is wrong ball for you, my dear.
Leroy lowers the bottle. He stares at it one last time. Then Leroy pours the whiskey down the drain. He grabs a cup of water and walks over to Tina. Leroy splashes water around her, mixing with the Kool-Aid. Tina stomps, splashes, and rolls around in the mixture. She giggles. A wide grin spreads across Leroy's face. He exits. Interior, living room, night. Leroy retrieves his book bag from the floor, unzips it, and pulls out the apron. He ties it around his waist. Then he pulls out brand new tubes of paint, paintbrushes, and pencils. Leroy displays the art supplies on the table. He puts a few pencils in his apron. Leroy moves the couch and pulls out a fresh white canvas. He places the canvas on a chair and stares at it. Leroy grabs a pencil, sharpens it, and begins to sketch. Dissolve 2. Interior kitchen, dawn. Sun rays peek through the kitchen window. Leroy moves like a zombie as he rinses out paintbrushes and leaves them in the sink. He steps over a sleeping Tina, who lies on the floor wrapped in a sheet. Leroy heads to the living room, where his masterpiece is propped up on the couch. He steps back to admire it. Leroy smiles. He walks up close to it. The painting is a picture of a man holding a little girl in his arms. They have big, exaggerated grins on their faces. Leroy glances at Tina sleeping on the kitchen floor, then back at the painting. He smiles. Fade out.